attention should a writer pay to the language and the sentence structure that they're using in their novel?
After looking at the big picture of what the novel is about, and it doesn't have to be exactly after, a key element of submitting your work should centre on the language you're using. With a first draft, you need to get it out on the page. That's like paramount. But when it comes to your next draft, you really have to hone in the words you're using, the metaphors, the similes, and do something that actually demonstrates your command of language. And we're not talking about being top of the class in English at school. It's just that every time you say something on the page, you need to find a way to make it a little bit more interesting than what's gone before. They say don't use cliches, and the reason they say don't use cliches is because it's not your own words. You want to describe what's happening, but you want to make something almost visceral, and that involves thinking about the best way to say, for example, the colour red, rather than saying there's a red car. An interesting way would be describing it being the colour of blood when it sprinkles out of a fingertip or something like that, for example, because it brings an image into the person's mind. It creates something that brings them into the moment. And a lot of your sentence structure, especially at the start of a novel, probably was the first words that you actually put down on the page. Now you've got a chance to reformat it and think how you can actually add bits that would actually just have flourishes and would actually make a reader or literary agent or publisher actually go, oh, that's really interesting. I might want to read on. I might want to take this book forward myself. A good example for that is when I listen to BBC's book at bedtime or audio book, because you've got somebody actually enunciating every phrase aloud, and to me it's really captivating. A great example is Caledonian Road by Andrew Hagen. That uses an array of beautiful language, like beautiful but accessible language, to really draw a reader in. And there's something about the prose, especially when put onto an audiobook, that really just allows it to flow so well. So I highly recommend actually taking your work and reading it aloud yourself and looking for, say, anything clunky or anything that just sounds jarring to you, but also ask somebody else to read it out to you and see if you're able to get that flow from somebody else's words that you hear when you read, when you listen to BBC Radio 4 or listen to an audiobook on Spotify or Audible.